Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about percent increase or percent decrease. Now, let's go back to our little stick and let's go back to our little money because when we had our little graphs and we said, hey, this strip right here represents 100%, 100% of something. Now, maybe 100% of money. It may be 100% of stick. Let's make this 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Let's assume those are all even. So I have 10%, 10%, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10%. So together it makes 100%. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? So we have 100% right here. Now, let's say that there is a 25% increase in something. So let's say whatever the price of gas is, there's a 25% increase. So instead of gas being, say, $2, it's going to increase by 25%. Okay, it's going to increase by 25%. If gas is $2 currently a gallon, it's going to increase by 25%. Well, how would I show that on my graph? Well, I would have to add some parts because if it's going to be an increase, it means it's going to be more than 100%. So I'm going to say here's another 10%. Here's another 10%, and I'm going to make a small one that is 5%. So now, if this represented 100% or $2, this part here represents 25%, okay, or some amount. Now, I don't quite know what amount that is, but I know what I can do is I can say, well, what's 25% of $2? Because if I know what 25% of $2 is, wouldn't that give me my blank? Well, I can do that. I can say 0.25 times $2, 0.25 times 2. I use my calculator and I come up with, ouch, 0.50 or 50 cents. So 50, it's going to go up by 50 cents. So if this represents $2, this represents 50 cents. So what does that mean? What would the total be after the increase? You would take $2 plus the increase of 50 cents, and the answer would equal $2.50. So one way to do this problem would be to say, I know what the 100% is. I know what the percent it's going up is. So I can figure out how much is going up. 0.25 times $2 is 50 cents, then add them together. Alternatively, rather than finding them separately, then adding them, maybe what we could do is we could add them to begin with. Because if this is 100%, the whole distance would be 125% of $2. Now, if I want 125%, I move the decimal, but I still only move it 2 spots. 1.25 times 2. And if I say, clear, 1.25 times 2, I get 2.5, also known as $2.50. So whether I find the pieces individually, then add them, just like I did here, or whether I add the percentages, 125%, and then multiply, either way works. Now that's for an increase. What if I wanted a decrease? I need more paper. Riveting educational video when I have to go get more paper. Okay. So if I want a decrease, well, let's think about this a second. For a decrease, it's going to be very similar but somewhat different. A decrease. Let's take our 100%. Here you go, 100% right there. All right. But we want a gas is going to decrease after the holidays by 30%. Okay, gas is going to decrease after the holidays by 30%. So if I were to draw my thing here, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. So each one of these is 10% again. So if it's going to decrease by 30%, if this whole thing equals $2, I could figure out 30% minus this one, minus this one, minus this one. That would be some number that I don't know, but it would represent 30%. So let's figure out what is 30% of $2. And so I say 0.3 times $2. 0.3 times $2 is 60 cents, 0.60. So it's going to be 60 cents, 0.60, 60 cents. So I take $2 minus 60 cents, and the answer is $1.40. There you go, $1.40. Now, again, what I did was I said if I figure out what 30% of it is, then I subtract from the total. I could go the second way with it though, because if this is 30% less than 100, well, how much would I have left? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% left. So couldn't I just say 0.7 times $2, and 0.7 times $2 is 1.4, and find it directly. So what we can do is we can either find the percent and subtract, or do the subtract. 100% minus 30% is 70%, and then multiply it that way. So I could do it either way to find the percent increase or percent decrease. The kicker is if you have percent increase, it's going to go up. If you have percent decrease, it's going to go down. So if it's percent increase, it's going to be more than 100%. If it's percent decrease, it's going to be less than 100%. So let's see what we can do with that one.